So this is probably not a good thing to say, but you know how for like over a year now, I've been talking about how like everything's in a bubble, and then like now it's all popping. It's all happening now. And so I have a lot I want to say on it. We hodling on Doge. Woo! Damn, you love to see that from Doge. Hodl. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Everyone knows that Elon is going to take us to the moon. Here's the deal. Here's what we have to do. We're going to talk about everything. I'm going to change the title. The everything bubble is popping. So, maybe you've noticed that every single fucking thing is down. Netflix, Shopify, Carvana, every single thing is down. All of the major tech stocks, and of course, more than everything, the meme stocks. Everything is popping, and you might be wondering what's going on. Why is the everything bubble popping? Why is everything that was doing so good in 2021 suddenly all collectively falling at once? The real cause here is the following. Inflation is at all-time highs. It's spiking and not slowing down because in 2020 and 2021, money was free. It was essentially free to borrow. And so everybody was borrowing money to run businesses that didn't make that much money and to invest in those businesses. And that can go for a long time until inflation starts to get out of control. Once that starts to get crazy, the government has only one tool at its disposal, really. And that is to make it more expensive to borrow money. That's called raising interest rates. And when that happens, it's not like a toothbrush. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fine instrument. It's a sledgehammer. Them just raising interest rates a little bit and talking about raising them more is what's caused everything to start crashing at once. And so, like I said this a few months ago in the inflation video, there's two outcomes, and that is recession or rampant inflation. And actually the third outcome is both. If they keep fucking dilly-dallying, we're gonna get fucking stagflation and we're gonna get both. We're in a crazy, crazy time right now. And the problem is either inflation keeps going up and everything keeps getting rampantly more expensive, or they raise interest rates and the everything bubble pops, which it's already doing. We need a good scapegoat. There's no scapegoat good enough. And in history, you know, when the shit like this happens, the party in power always loses. When the Great Recession happened in 2007, 2009, the way that we got out of it was by printing a bunch of money. Surprise, surprise, it actually worked. But it's like you're feeling depressed, so you take meth, dude. You know what I'm saying? It worked because it was a short-term high, and we got addicted to it. And so instead of tapering it off, they actually kept going and increased it. This has all been happening for years and years and years, and we've been enjoying it because it's been leading to everything spike. Businesses that don't really have a good business plan can survive for a very long time by continuing to raise more money. As long as you were growing, nobody really cared whether you were making a solid profit, whether you had a solid fundamental business model, as long as you were growing. And so that's why companies like Peloton and Zoom, Airbnb, and all these Uber were worth tens, hundreds of billions of dollars. And they weren't even making money. So to avoid that, the government had a brilliant solution. We're gonna stamp our feet. We're gonna raise interest rates. You better stop borrowing. But they didn't want to actually do it. They know that if they actually do it, it would lead to the bubble popping. So they were just saying it, and it didn't really work. And then they raised it just a little bit. And they're like, we're gonna raise it more. And then inflation didn't stop. But already just those two tiny bumps in the interest rate have caused a lot of things to implode. So it's kind of like we have a perfect storm of like 4 or 5 different things that all individually cause recessions or depressions. And they're all here at once. And the government just doesn't have the tools to do anything about it at this point. It's like it's too late. So here's the question you guys are asking. A lot of people are asking this. And in fact, I know they're asking this because I can look at the data. People are asking, should I buy the dip? A lot of people who have been investing in the past, let's say 10 years, have never seen a market where stocks don't always go up. people are kind of under the impression that stocks always go up. That's not true at all. Like, sometimes things go down and crash. So, and the point I'm trying to make is that I looked at the data, and retail investors, which is what you and I are, average people, not hedge funds or big, are at all-time highs on buying stocks right now. You guys are out there buying GameStop and you're buying AMC, and I'm trying to get the chart. People during this fall are spending more than they ever have on buying stocks. This is already risky. This is a risky thing because a lot of these companies are not good. Let me show you an example. Peloton is a company that was high flying last year. Now it's at $12. It's basically down 90%. People might think they want to buy the dip, but let's look at this actual company. So this is a hilarious marked up balance sheet that someone posted on Twitter. And you can sort of see that their revenue is collapsing. You think it's a good business, right? You take some aluminum, you make a fucking bike, you sell it for way more than it costs to make. It's a decent business. But the problem is their margin is going down every year. So they used to make 35% profit on everything sold. Now it's down to 19%. And they're absolutely burning cash. So if you're ever looking at a balance sheet, probably the most important thing to take a look at every time is free cash flow. If you see a company that has positive free cash flow, that means not in parentheses, you're looking at a company that at the very least makes sense. It's like what used to be the main metric for businesses until this whole bubble. And these guys are burning. So what is this? 204 million, 546 million last quarter, 746 million this quarter. So not only are they burning cash, they're burning more cash as the time goes on. They're burning more cash every quarter. Like, it's getting worse. And now owing a lot of money is really a very expensive prospect. And people don't want to invest in a company that owes a lot of money, has no plan to get it back, and burns the money every quarter. I'm not an investing advisor. I'm not going to tell you that something's going to go up or down because nobody knows. I'm just telling you things that are true right now and what the likely outcome of that is. So yeah, people are bringing up crypto, and I think crypto is one of the biggest targets of the everything bubble popping. It's going to be it seems to be the first wave. Crypto is getting absolutely hammered. Despite what this guy says,
I wonder how many of these companies you think are entering the space just because it's hot and there's a lot of funding versus the ones that will still be here, you know, like
95% are going to die.
Yeah.
95% are going to die. Yeah. There's also entertainment in watching companies die too.
There's entertainment. Oh man, that's so evil. At least you get to learn from it, right?
Yeah, it is entertaining, especially when this guy's company is down, this guy's coin is down 90%. There is some entertainment value in that. He was running Luna, which is what's called a stable coin, with the idea being that it's tied to the US dollar and thus is much more stable. But unfortunately, all of these stable coins, quote unquote, don't actually have the monetary reserves to back what they say they're going to do. So it's all a bunch of like financial trickery and algorithm trickery that doesn't actually work when there's like massive crypto outflows, which there is. And so these stable coins are starting to collapse. Bitcoin investors are panicking. I think Bitcoin went under 30K today. And it seems to be the first wave of a larger financial reckoning. Buy the dip? I mean, there's only one coin that I'm buying the dip on. To the moon. To the moon. Diamond hands. Diamond. You know what? Still performing better than Dogecoin. I understand why bad companies are going down, but why are good companies going down? The thing is, great companies. Amazon, for example, Apple. These are phenomenal companies. The problem is, even great companies, in fact, especially great companies, in a time where money is free to borrow, get overvalued. They get ahead of themselves. The point I always make when I talk about Tesla is that Tesla, even if Tesla is a great company, does that mean it is worth more than every single other car company combined? No, it doesn't make sense. The valuation is too high. This car company shouldn't be worth $1.1 trillion. And as it turns out, when you can't borrow money infinitely to buy calls on this stock, it isn't. It's down 30%, 40% year to date. How would a recession reset things? So listen, in the short term, recessions are terrible. They're just bad. People die. People lose their houses. People are fired. There's nothing good about a recession. I can't tell you about that in the short term. But in the long term, a recession can be a reset that allows things to be bought at more reasonable levels as real investments. Like a more real world example is think of like, let's say you're a new restaurant owner. Like let's say you're a young startup person. You can buy the grill in the kitchen for cheap. You can start investing and building your own business for cheap. And you start to see new growth and innovation, and things start to build. It's like clearing the underbrush out of a forest. It's like a controlled demolition. You know what I'm saying? Here's a great example, actually, a more recent one, because I've been looking into this myself. For the longest time, it's been considered that, you know how we all moved to shopping online? The idea was that, why would you pay rent in a mall when you could set up your business online and sell direct? But it turns out over the past few years, as it's become more and more popular, there's more and more competition in that area, the rents you have to pay online are almost equaling or exceeding what you have to pay offline. And so recently, because there's been a collapse in malls, you can actually set up a business in a mall for no rent at all, and they just get a cut of your revenue. Like right now, you can go to a popular mall, and there's a decent chance you can get literal store space for no rent, and they just get cut of your revenue, which is gonna lead to innovation. A recession allows for change. That is the upside in a longer term. What if we take over Canada and then sell it back to them to make some money? Now we're thinking. Canada, what would you pay for your own country? We'll give you Drake. We'll take Drake, but you have to take Jack Harlow. Anyway, so that's the everything bubble. I'm sorry that there's more I can say on it. What about the good news? Well, the good news is that I'm probably going to play a little balloons later tonight.